Videography and cinematography are not the same thing, but most of the people think and treat it as if they are. But the key difference is in storytelling, intention, and the way you actually build the scene. Today especially, lines can get a bit blurry because we use the same cameras, sometimes we even use the same editing software, and we definitely use the same platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and things of that nature. And sure, the end product can look similar because of those things, but the big difference is in the way you approach it. So let's define videography first. Videography is capturing of events and/or content. So you would need a videographer if you want your wedding to be filmed, if you're doing interviews, if you're doing your corporate talking head videos, social media stuff, things of that nature. And when I actually first started out, I was doing videography mostly, and then I kind of graduated into more cinematography afterwards. Some key traits of videography would be using practical lighting, speed, efficiency, coverage, and generally shooting more run and gun style. So to summarize, videography is shooting what happens. So to simply describe cinematography now, it is not capturing of images, it is designing images to tell a specific story. And you would achieve that through motivated and intentional lighting, placing and framing of the camera, moving the camera with purpose, focusing on mood and atmosphere, and not letting the frame just be a window that a viewer is looking through. So to put it simply, cinematography is not about capturing reality. It's about shaping it to portray a specific mood. And the best examples of that would be films, narrative commercials, music videos, basically any work where you need to show and portray certain emotion and certain vibe to the viewer. Now let's clarify something really important. One isn't better than the other because they're serving very different purposes. Videographer's job is to capture the moment as it's happening real time. So there are no retakes, there are no stops, there are no rehearsals. He has to be super fast, efficient, know what he's looking for, and have a lot of coverage if he wants to be a good videographer. And it takes a lot of skill to do that. Just the same as it takes a lot of skill and knowledge to be a good cinematographer. Because sure, as a cinematographer, you don't have to capture the moment like the first try, but you have to portray a mood. You need a lot more crew, you need to know how to handle the crew, how to do lighting, framing, and do everything intentionally to portray a story you're trying to portray specifically to the viewer. So they serve two very different purposes, and that's why you cannot really say one is better than the other. So why should you as a filmmaker understand the difference between a videographer and a cinematographer? Well, because if you want your films to look cinematic, you have to start thinking like a cinematographer, not just about pressing record and plopping the camera down on a tripod. You have to start making it feel intentional. Why is the camera there? What vibe am I getting by placing the camera there? What is the lighting situation in the room? What am I seeing in the frame, in the shot? What story is it telling about this character, their life, their story, their current situation, etc., etc. So you have to start thinking a lot more intentionally about your camera work and about your cinematography when you're doing films, short films, or any narrative work of that sort. And one last thing that is really important to mention, the type of your camera, the brand on your camera, and the price tag of your camera is not what decides if your work is more cinematic or more into the videography field. Because you can have a phenomenal cinematographer who works only on an iPhone, and you can have a horrendous videographer who works with Arri Alexa. It is all about intent, not about your gear. It is about the way you use your gear. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope this video inspired you. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at full.frame.production because there I post my daily work as a production company. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.